สวัสดีค่ะ Welcome to my living room. Today I want to talk to you guys about diastasis recti. The who? Diastasis recti. You heard it right. If you are an expecting mom or if you are a recent postpartum mom, listen on. You want to know about this thing because it will be relevant to you. The reason I want to do today's episode is because it's something that I wish somebody told me about so that I wouldn't have gone and done what I did what I do, done what I did, and basically so I could have prevented my diastasis from getting worse. So mummies, today's episode is for you. After I gave birth to my daughter, I was really frustrated with the way my belly looked. My belly was just looking saggy, it was wobbly, I felt weak, it just looked like a deflated balloon. I exercised throughout my pregnancy and I just didn't expect it to be like that. I kind of expect that I was going to bounce back and have a flat belly within days of giving birth, and basically that didn't happen. So I really wanted to get my abs back, and I'm sure like many mums, traditional abs exercise just came to mind, and I was like, that's right, I'm going to do sit-ups and crunches. So 1 month after I gave birth to my daughter, I vowed to myself that I'm going to do sit-up and crunches every night, and I did. Every night I was doing sit-up. I started at 20, it built up to 30, 50. By the end of it, I was doing about 50 to 80 reps per night. And then one night I was lying on the couch with my husband. Right here, I was just sitting here. I think it was 10 months after I've given birth. I was just telling him, I was like, look at my belly button. I used to have an innie, now it's an outie. And I was just like poking around in my belly button. And suddenly I sat up to look at it, and my fingers went through these muscles. And I was like, I don't think that's normal. And I remember when I was pregnant, I was reading through this article about the diastasis recti, abdominal muscle separation. And I was just like, that would never happen to me. I exercise, I'm fit. Nah, not gonna happen to me. And then it did. It happened to me. And I was really kind of upset and shocked. For those of you who doesn't know what diastasis recti is, basically you have 2 layers of your core, your inner core and your outer core. Your outer core is your six-pack muscles, and basically is the separation of your outer abdominal muscles, your six-pack muscles. Your six-packs kind of comprises of the left side and the right side of your muscles, so kind of like this, and it runs from top to bottom. Actually, your left and right side were never really attached like this. It's always there's a gap in the middle, and that gap is the connective tissue that is called linea alba. So there's always a little gap here. So prior to pregnancy, the gap is relatively narrow, but during pregnancy, what happened is your belly needs to make room for a growing baby, and basically it grows outwards and to the side. And what happened to that connective tissue is it gets stretched out. Kind of like chewing gum, where it's when you stretch out your chewing gum, it's not a tear, but it's a thinning. So your connective tissue get thinner and stretch out, so it's become wider. So there's a bigger gap between your left and your right muscles now. And to help you visualize why traditional abs exercises like sit-up, crunches, V-sit can be so bad for recent postpartum mom, I'm gonna use my husband wetsuit and show you. So basically this is what your outer core looked like before pregnancy. So the left side and the right side of the muscle, here is your connective tissue, the linea alba. So as you can see, there's always a little gap. What happened during pregnancy is your linea alba is kind of getting stretched out. After pregnancy though, as you can see, your muscles don't automatically come back together. So you're still left with this weakness, this looseness. And I'll show you now what happened when you go and do crunches and sit up. Look at my core right here. So every time I do crunches or sit up, the gap widens. And that's actually can make your existing symptoms worse. One thing I want to share with you guys, diastasis recti is actually part of a normal pregnancy. Your belly definitely needs to expand and widen to create more room for your growing baby. So it's very natural. The majority of women, when you give your muscles time to relax and rest, the left and the right side do come back together. It might not be as close as where it was. They do come back together. For 30% of women though, we're still left with this gap. I'm one of the 30%. And if there's one key thing I would love for you to take away from this episode, even though you will experience frustration with the way your abs look after birth, is really avoid crunches and sit up because they're so bad for you. Last week I did an episode on my go-to core exercises. Go back, do those exercises. These are the exercises that will not worsen your abdominal separations. They'll also help strengthen your weak core, and this is where you can really rebuild your core strength gradually. I really hope you find today's episode useful. Don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss my next episode. Also, it will really help me if you can smash that like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.